Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're having a wonderful evening, a great night tonight. I know it's probably not night when you guys are watching this, but it is for me, and I hope that you guys are having a great one. Maybe you're settling down, coming down off of work, out of school, maybe just a relaxing day at the pool. Wherever you are, you're always cool in my book. So now let's move on, after a little bit of a rhythmic rhyme, into something a little bit more fine. Today we're going to listen to LaMontagne. We're going to listen to these tracks, The Changing Man, and While It Still Beats. This is off of the album Ouroboros, which was released in 2016. Sixth studio album by Mr. Ray. We are listening to this because it was suggested and sponsored by Cujo. Cujo, thank you so much for the recommendation, and thank you so much for the sponsorship as well. I really appreciate that. I appreciate the recommendation. I had never heard of Mr. LaMontagne, but I'm excited to listen to this. I love his name. It just rolls off the tongue. Sounds cool. Looks cool. No idea what genre he's going to perform, but we are going to listen to it nonetheless. And I'm excited to dive into it. Let's go ahead and do that right now. We would discuss it after my chair feels shorter, but I guess it's not. I guess it's the same, actually. Looking at it. Ignore those Christmas decorations in the back. Okay. Here we go. Changing Man. And While It Still Beats. That's kind of a stoner one, I feel. Bluesy psychedelic. Those vocals kind of hit a Pink Floyd vibe. Their more atmospheric moments. I like how it's come down, but still hitting that heaviness there. That's the Purdy Shuffle. You can't pull the Purdy Shuffle on me. Are you mad? You cannot pull the Purdy Shuffle on me. I know that. That atmosphere of guitar punching through. like that atmosphere that it kind of layers on top of this, the riff.
The changing man. I am the changing man.
It's such like a 60s, 70s kind of vocal line. Oh yeah.
So one way to get out of this race. They're in the second place. If you don't give them every ounce, they'll cut it out while it still beats.
That's lovely.
Close the wound, I'm worth the blade. Light my dying body, my shade.
Voice kind of shaking too in a weird way. Kind of interesting.
Take my boots and the bullets from my gun. Order me towards the sun. Order me towards the sun.
That sounds like Mellotron right there. That gently rose blue. That vocal effect. Gorgeous spacey vocals there. That was really, really a beautiful listen. That was really fantastic. And Cujo had mentioned this as well, but as you probably saw, it says part 1 here. So the whole first side of the album basically is meant to be kind of played as one. And so he has suggested these 2 tracks here together, the kind of the climax of this part, this suite, if you will. And I mean, that was absolutely beautiful. That was a really great listen. At first, when Changing Man came in and that heavy guitar riff that kind of, rides over the whole track there, I was kind of thinking that, okay, this is going to be kind of like a stoner band, like, one of those slow, heavy kind of, drawled out kind of guitar riffs that, builds and layer on top of that. And yes, it does do that, but it leans more towards like a heavy psych kind of feel, especially as, those layers of reverb begin kind of crashing back and forth. It's heavy, it's weighty, it's pressurized, and that mountain of a riff is just crushing. So Ray LaMontagne is not only going to be the vocalist, who we hear in these two tracks, but also handling all the guitar work that's handling. So that's what he's doing there. And then in the Changing Man, he's really, the lyrics are just, I'm the Changing Man, basically. And can I tell you, like, it kind of reminds me of like I Am the Walrus, in like just that vocal line and that kind of psychedelic way that he says it over and over again. And as he says it over and over, it's still like it's very. Excuse me. I felt it coming, but I couldn't stop it, and I don't have my water near me. It's very melodic. It's very spacey. There's definitely a cinematic scope that's being explored here, which is further explored in the next track. Because the next track, then the wonderful onion layers of melody begin to come in. You have all these synths and keys and mellotron that are introduced. That's going to be courtesy of Dan Dorff, who's handling all of the, like I said, key-based instruments and such. And the ending, excuse me, I don't know, it's like stuck in my throat. The ending of While It Still Beats, I love how the mellotron just slinks in and slides in amongst the female vocal harmony. That comes in, and of course that ends the track there. That's going to be Alexis Marsh on the background vocals. Just really beautiful. Kind of reminds me, not as riffage and not as, in that, it's not like Gig in the Sky from Pink Floyd, but it hits a similar tone, hits a similar atmosphere, but that really wonderful transition into that more melodic riff, and then of course with those vocals and the mellotron and the keys being brought in, I thought was sensational and a really brilliant choice there as well. And I like how drummer is Dave Given. First track, listen, just hit hard, hit heavy, hit on time. Let the space of the riff do the rest. But as we get into While It Still Beats, do not try to sneak one by me. Don't try to pull any wool over my eyes. I ain't got no sheet. That's the Purdy Shuffle. And you can't sneak that by me. Don't try. I love how they pulled the Purdy Shuffle in that heavy riff. It's not as heavy as Changing Man, but come on now. Where's the riff? Where's the drum? There you go. Just filling it now, but like you can't pull that in that transition that had happened. Like, and like, yes, I would say that the Pink Floyd worship is there. Great, good. Good. Some people will hear this and say, oh, it's not original, or oh, it's not this. Listen, this is just good sounding music, great feel good music. And like, yeah, Pink Floyd's a great band to be inspired by, a great band to take some inspiration through and still make it your own, still do something your own. And this album is obviously a journey as you look at the track listing. And Ouroboros, what starts and goes back and, just continued eternal. So I really enjoyed these tracks a lot. These were really, really fantastic. Wonderful atmosphere, a nice heaviness to it as well. The album cover kind of perfectly kind of captures, I would say, even to a great extent, like the feeling. It's heavy, it's atmospheric, it's weighty. What goes around comes around. Really fantastic track. So the lyrics to Changing Man were just I'm the Changing Man. So nothing to really look into there. But While It Still Beats, so ends the game, so ends the chase. There's only one way to get out of this race. There ain't no second place if you don't give them every ounce. They'll cut it out while it still beats, obviously cutting out that heart, right? And ending the game, ending the chase, Ouroboros, something that continues ad infinitum. This is an ending, at least to the side. You close the wound, I'll bite the blade. Lie my dying body in the shade. Take my boots and bullets from my gun. Point me towards the sun. Point me towards the sun. The sun of nothing. That's between the berry to me. So yeah, like I said, this track talks about, you know, an ending, of course, while it still beats, while your heart still beats, while there's still life. Whereas the album, of course, implies, yeah, this isn't quite the ending. And of course, there's a side two. So of course, this isn't the end. Now, I don't know if this is necessarily, I just hit my elbow. If this is necessarily a concept album or not, but obviously it does have that thematic through line as the music continues and from forward or continues through. You know what I mean? As like I said, even Cujo mentioned that this whole track or this whole album just flows as one. But these were two really, really enjoyable tracks. I really enjoyed this. Hope that you guys did as well. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Cujo, thank you so much for the recommendation. Thank you so much for the support as well. This was a really fantastic listen. This was an enjoyable two-hitter, two pieces of music. Thank you all for being here. Please come back by tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see you all then. Bye.